bringing to you this video today about your physical health. So physical health is something that I work on each and every day because I know how much it links to my mental health. I think there's a huge connection. When you're feeling in a good place physically, then your mental health is clearer, your mind feels just calmer overall. You know that feeling once you've been for a run or you've done some sort of exercise, you've gone for a walk, and people will often comment, "Oh, I've cleared my head." I really do believe that there's a firm connection between physical and mental well-being. Very, very passionate about that. Now, if you think about your overall kind of physical well-being and different elements of how you can positively impact that, there's lots of different ways that you can do it. For me, consistency is really, really important. So choosing to consistently do some form of exercise. So I suggest, and I've mentioned it in other videos, that you do physical exercise at least 5 times a week for 30 minutes. Now I hear some of you crying, "Oh, I don't have enough time, I don't have 5 times 30 minutes. So that's 2.5 hours a week. I would guarantee you that you're spending 2.5 hours a week on something that isn't helping your physical well-being, that you could actually interchange that. So think about your exercise. I'm going to go back a step, and before you even think about exercising your physical well-being, I want you to think about the fuel, so the food that you're eating. Now think about it a little bit like a car, so think about our bodies a bit like a car. If we put in the wrong fuel, if you've ever gone to the petrol pump and actually instead of putting in petrol you've put in diesel or vice versa, you'll know very quickly that the car will start. So if we're shaking and come to a stop, our bodies are a bit like that. So if we're constantly feeding our bodies with food that isn't healthy, that is full of sugar, that is full of fats, especially kind of saturated fats, then often our body at times will get ill easier, we'll come to a stop, we'll feel really sluggish. Think about Christmas Day. We get together and everybody's like, "Oh, we're going to have turkey and we're going to have chocolate, we've got selection boxes." How do you feel usually on the evening of Christmas Day? You tend to feel really tired. Everybody needs a nap, in the evening. That's often because we've been consuming so many calories and eating so much of the food that actually isn't good for us. So think about your fuel. A really good way to get a clear picture of what it is that you're eating is that there's a lot of apps now. So MyFitnessPal is a really good way of kind of capturing what you're eating, so you can see what of your macros are you eating, how much are carbs, how much essentially are fats, and how much protein are you taking in, and making sure that that's in the right proportions. Really easy way to do that. It's a bit like a food diary, so if you don't have the app then you can make a food diary, but get really clear on what you're eating because it makes you more accountable. So that's your fuel. Think about your fuel. Think about your exercise. Do something that's free. It doesn't have to cost money. Go for a walk. It can be one of the best forms of exercise to get the lungs pumping. Go for a run. Do it with a friend. So often that can help with your accountability as well. But be accountable most importantly to yourself. Your breathing. I talk about this quite a lot in other videos, but really get focused on taking nice deep breaths rather than, which we often do. Take the deep breath right from the bottom of your stomach and fill the breath out. So like that. So take 10 deep breaths. And the final part around your physical well-being is the sleep. Are you getting enough rest? It's really important that you're giving your body the time to rest, to replenish. If you struggle with sleep, something that I find quite useful often in the evening is listening to relaxation music or meditation. Often you'll find yourself after a few minutes, you'll have drifted off and you'll have forgotten about the music or the meditation that you were listening to. So it can be quite a good way to unwind. Also, spending time away from technology a few hours before you go to bed can be really helpful as well. So I want you to take some sort of action around your physical well-being. I don't think there is any coincidence that as a nation we're becoming so much more sedentary and inactive, and at the same time depression and also suicide are on a huge upward trajectory. I think if people took more time to really focus on their physical well-being, they would see a huge impact on their mental well-being as well. So I want you to create a physical action plan. Now, you might have seen in an earlier video I used a concept for goal setting called GROW. So I want you to think about your physical GROW, which is, what's your goal? Get really clear on your outcome, be specific, be time bound. What is your reality? So if my goal is to run a marathon, I can run 11 miles at the moment, so I'm about a 5 out of 10. What opportunities do I have? I need to think about my training plan, I need to think about my diet, I need to make sure that I'm going out running consistently. All these opportunities. What might hold me back? So sometimes my mindset, if I'm kind of tired, I'll just miss that run today. That might hold me back. And what actions will you take, or what is the way forward? So think about that for your physical growth, physical action plan, and I really encourage you to go now, take action, write it down and commit to yourself. So important that you commit to your physical well-being. This is the only body that you've got, so look after it. Thanks for tuning in, folks.